the station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Welcome to Beyond the Headlines with hosts MJ, H-Train, and Terry. Each week we put today's news into perspective. Join us on Facebook, X, YouTube, Roku, and Amazon Fire TV, or anywhere you get your podcast. MBR, giving veterans a voice.
Hey!
Hello!
Jingle, jingle, jangle, I tell you all. How we doing? Are we good?
Yeah.
No, we're not even going to go to those notes yet, man.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
No way.
So, ladies and gentlemen, today we're doing Christmas stories, and so I'm a little out of whack. So please accept my apologies in advance. Aw.
Even tie-dye has Christmas. We are here to jingle jangle your bells tonight. And when I say jingle jangle bells, I really mean jingle jangle your damn bells. So, I just want everybody to know I am so thankful to be here today. I am ecstatic because today we're going to have a little twist of stuff. Joel has decided, because our good partner Terry isn't here, that we should do something about Christmas, and he chose St. Nicholas. And I said, oh, I got the perfect thing. And he goes, okay, I'm leaving it on you. And which he did, and I'm so thankful. And Peachy MB, look at you go. Welcome, Peachy MB. So we're going to jingle jangle balls tonight. Bells. Sorry, I didn't mean balls. Bells.
I knew it was coming.
It had to be. It had to be. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get into St. Nicholas. Holy, hooded, and hilariously generous. So tonight, we're going to welcome everybody in, whether you're listening in your car, watching us on TV, because we're now on that platform, or catching that podcast later. You are officially in the building. Where's Joel? He's still freaking dancing. Joel.
Yes.
You're up.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. And if you're watching us on TV, yeah. MJ is wearing that sweater on purpose. MJ.
It's festive and breathable. What are you talking about? Don't hate the player.
Hey, today we're talking about a man who wore robes long before ugly Christmas sweaters were a thing.
Did you just call me ugly?
No.
Oh my gosh. Well, before Santa, before elves, before malls started playing Christmas music in October. Is it a sin, by the way, Joel?
Which is a sin, by the way.
Amen. We're going to be telling you the true story of St. Nicholas with maybe a few little punches here and there. We don't know, but we're okay with it. We're going to tell a story. Go ahead, Joel.
I get
a real Christian?
Let's get into it, or which is a sin, by the way. A real Christian. Wow. Okay, a real Christian, a real bishop, and honestly, kind of a legend.
Holy ball, generous, and occasionally unhinged for Jesus. We're having it tonight.
Let's get into it.
Woo-hoo-hoo! We'll even turn down that music for you. Hold on. We got to get there. There we go. This should be a fun night, folks. Bear with us.
I've never done this before.
This is what happens when Terry doesn't come. And I have to teach thespians.
Yeah, we won't even talk to them about the thespian hat.
Okay.
That might be a little too embarrassing.
So tonight, this is where we're going to start with good old St. Nicholas. So in segment 1 here, we're going to start. It's a tough world and a faithful kid. Joel has never done story time.
No, I haven't. So we're at segment 1, a tough world and a faithful kid, right?
That's
okay.
right.
Okay, I see now. All right.
Okay.
I'll get into this, I promise.
No problem.
We're going back to around 270 AD in Patara, modern day Turkey.
So no Wi-Fi, no air conditions, and being Christian could literally get you arrested or killed.
Hey, Nicholas was born into wealth, but more importantly, into faith.
Well, his parents raised him in the teachings of Christ, which back then was basically an underground movement.
But then tragedy hits. A plague takes both his parents.
And now we have to pause here because this is where faith becomes real.
You know, most people would say, God, why? Nicholas says, okay, Lord, how do I serve?
And instead of stacking his inheritance,
he gives it away.
Oh, no Instagram post, no testimonial video.
Just obedience.
Wow. Okay. Now we got to take a minute. We have to take a minute. We have to discuss this, Joel, because here we have this beautiful man whose parents died, left him with all these riches. And instead of going out and buying a new truck, a home, and new PlayStation 5, 10,000, none of that. Nope, he doesn't. What does he do? This gosh forsaken man, he stocks it. He starts stocking his inheritance. I can't say I would do that. I am not St. Nicholas, obviously. So, that being said, we're going to take a minute. We're going to play a commercial or something, but Joel's on it. He'll tell us what he's playing.
All right. Yeah, we're on it. I'm supposed to play this rejoiner music that I keep forgetting to hit. I don't know why.
Hit it.
There. Well, it is actually hitting. I mean, it's actually like, there we go. It's like the loudest thing that I can get. All right. Anyway, so we're going to go on this music break. Remember, when we play this, remember that right now you can get Die Tired, whatever. I can't pronounce it for some reason. But, hey, they're limited edition, collaborated effort. Hey, there you go. T-shirts with Die Tired MBR. So make sure that if you haven't, go to that website and buy yourself a shirt for mental health awareness.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness, one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25 and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/die-tired-band.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for supporting our channel by watching and listening.
find us on the web at mbradio.net.
Oh, that was nice.
And
Look, guys.
we're back.
Look up in the corner over Jewel. You see that little QR code? That's not the one you want. Bam! That's the one you want. Right there. See that big nut? That's the die-tired little QR code. Just
Bam!
on that. And bam! Look at
Bam!
that.
Kelly the wine mixer. Bam!
You want more than that? What can I tell you? I don't know. But I have it all. We got it all. We have it all. You know why?
Because we the fit, man.
Because St. Nicholas is in the building. All right, let's get back. Let's get back to where we were.
All right.
We have to tell this story, Joel. So we're right now, segment 2 in the Gold in the Night story. Are we ready?
Hold on. There's a reason why I'm on disability, and I'm being reminded about that right now. All right, segment 2, right? The Gold in the Night story.
All right, Joe. Here we go. This is the story now. This is the story. Here we go. Go ahead.
A struggling father, 3 daughters, no dowries.
No dowries. And in that culture, no dowry. That meant no marriage, no protection, and no future.
Nicholas hears about it, and instead of thoughts and prayers,
He grabs a bag of gold.
in the middle of the night,
No an announcement.
no
tip.
background music.
Mm-mm. Just eat gold through the window.
1 daughter saved,
Then he does it again.
and again.
By the 3rd time, the dad's like, all right, somebody's got to explain this generosity.
Catches Nicholas, and Nicholas says, "Please don't tell anyone."
Which is so wild, right? Because if that were today,
There'd be a press release, hashtags, book deal, SOEs, interviews.
but Nicholas lived in Matthew 6. Do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing.
We can translate that a bunch of different ways.
It's Matthew 6. Don't ruin the Bible verse.
That's faith in action.
Such faith in action. So now this guy is being mad over his daughters getting gold bars, and he's upset because he needs to figure out this Nicholas man with generosity. I mean, come on, Joel. What do you think about that? That's a paradox. It's not on the script. I love you.
I'm having a hard time as it is, MJ.
So you need to put on your best thespian hat tonight, Joel.
Oh, gosh.
We're trying to tell a story about old Saint Nick. But we need some camaraderie because most of these segments, it's even unheard of in today. Like these kids being born today, they're like, what?
Right.
Yeah. Why is he so mad getting gold? Why? Who cares that he has faith in religion? Because it was total against it at the time. You know what I mean? Back to my favorite Joel. Okay, so here we go. Now we're back. Bishop Nicholas, humble but bold. That's your cue, Joel.
Yeah, I know. We're on segment 4 now, right?
No, sir. We're on
Segment 3.
It's gonna be a long night. You only have an hour to get this out. Please put the kids to bed. This is not for them. This bedtime story.
Well, eventually Nicholas becomes bishop of Myra.
Myra. A legend says he didn't campaign for it,
which already makes him different.
Huh. As bishop, he defends the poor, protects kids, and checks corrupt leaders.
He was gentle with the broken, and he was firm with the powerful.
That's a Christ-like leadership right there. So let's talk about that segment.
Okay.
That is extremely powerful because he now becomes a bishop of Myra. And somehow they all voted him in. He didn't even ask to be in the campaign. That's weird, right? People just nominated him and there was an overwhelming vote that here's the campaign and now he becomes bishop. That's a little different, right? However, the bishop then takes on, and today I was talking to you about religion. Back in the day, religions were formed for exactly what he was campaigned and voted in as a bishop. These were the religion boundaries, where he defends the poor, protects the kids, and he checks the corrupt leaders. This is where the Knights Templars came into fruition, because all of this, there is no boundaries. There was the religion, and that was the boundaries. So that is quite amazing. Now we go into the next part, where it's called the prison and persecution. Are you with me, Joel? You still there?
I think so. Segment 4.
All right. Okay, he's still with us. Okay, prison and persecution of Nicholas. So let's not sanitize this story.
Nicholas gets arrested for being a Christian.
Beaten, broken, and imprisoned.
But he doesn't fold.
When Christianity is legalized, he walks out still with the highest and the most faith.
Some of us get one bad comment online and we start questioning everything, even ourselves.
Absolutely. You can't even ask a question and people rip you out of existence. Or you can't ask them, can I ask where you got that? And it is such a different life. Such a different life. But St. Nicholas was built different. Completely different. So we're going to go to commercials again. We're going to take a moment here before we go into miracles, myths, and he did what? That's right. We're going to take this commercial. We're going to have another festive one, and Joel's going to lead us through it.
All right, here we go.
There's a man you'll probably never meet. He's out there fighting while you're sound asleep. To protect your life, he gave his away. Although you might not now, well, you'll appreciate him someday. And I know you'll try and understand, but you'll never get what it's like to be a military man. He shipped out when he was young to experience the world, while others went to college to experience the girls. As things turned out, travels didn't quite go as planned. They dropped him in the desert, nothing but miles and miles of sand. Meanwhile at college, yeah, his friends were living it up. Oh, how slowly they'd forgotten the man in the camouflage truck. To protect their lives, he gave his away. Although they might not now, well, they'll appreciate him someday. And I know they try and understand, but they'll never get what it's like to be a military man. He sacrificed his life, his loved ones and his dreams, fighting for their freedom. Oh, they don't know how much that means. Far away and forgotten now, others done with their degrees. Yeah, they got their slips of paper while he's still fighting for them while they sleep. But hey, one evening, back in the desert and out of the blue, hold up the enemy without a hero having a clue. But gunfire went on for what seemed like days and days, and our unknown soldier took one in the head during the blaze. His friends sat and cried during his 30-second clip on the news as they watched their young brave hero pay the ultimate of dues. Later on at the funeral, a shadow cast on the ground. There stands a grieving mother whose voice began to ring out loud. How many wars must we fight until we're finally done? I've lost a father, a husband, and now my only son. What's the price of freedom? 'Cause it sure ain't free. Oh, I could give you one good answer, but now I can give you three. To protect her life, he gave his away. All she always has, she's gonna miss him this day. And I know she's tried at least 3 times, but she'll never get what it's like, and she'll never understand why. Yes, there are the lucky ones, the ones who do survive, but they don't come back the same. It's just harder staying alive. So next time you see a veteran or a man in his fatigues, well, I hope you'll smile and thank them for protecting us while we sleep. So tip your glasses for our men and women too. To all our colors, all our reds and whites and blues. To every soldier coming home or on their way through, current, past, and those that are due. Protect our lives, they give theirs away. Although we might not now, but we'll appreciate them someday. And I know we try and understand, but we'll never get what it's like to be a military man.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Okay. Are you ready? Are you ready, John?
Well, hold on. Okay, missed segments. All right.
Let's get back to the story of old Saint Nicholas. We are now going to do the next segment. It's 5, and this is the miracles, the myths. And he did what?
Stories spread, miracles, healings, saving sailors from storms.
Kids protected, innocent people defended.
And then there's the Council of Nicaea.
Oh, yeah. The theological slap heard around the world.
You know, legend says Nicholas got so passionate defending the divinity of Christ
that he slapped another bishop.
Now, we're not saying violence is okay.
However, we are saying that he cared deeply about the truth of Christ.
Passion for Jesus, no chill.
And then Nicholas, from saint to Santa. After his death in 343 AD, devotion explodes.
December 6th becomes a day of giving.
Then comes Sinterklaas. No, Joel, I didn't say the Sphincter Claus. I said the Sinterklaas.
Particles. Okay. Then poems.
Really? Poems? What kind of poems? Is it like the Coca-Cola then got involved? Coca-Cola?
Boom, Santa.
But the heart stayed the same.
Generosity, joy, care for children.
Wow. So Coca-Cola gets involved while the Santa tributes comes in. So from saint to Santa, the myth of the theologies take old Bishop Nicholas back into being sainthood. Isn't that amazing? I love that. Because you find there's a lot of saints and you find there's a lot of myths to the saints, but you never know. It's almost like Wan Yin, right? Some people call her Kuan Yin. She was a real person. She was a real walking Virgin Mary, Mother Mary. She was that person in Asia. And they didn't deitized her. She is now a deitized God who then became, here you go, transgendered. She was woman on earth, and they deitized her to a man. Yeah. What do you think about that, Joel? Are you listening?
I am listening. I lost my place. He was talking. I lost my place.
I was adding lib. It's called adding lib.
Okay.
Joel, I said get your best thespian hat on tonight. Where's Brendan? Where's Brendan when I need him? Oh my gosh. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. So faith meets modern life. So Saint Nicholas wasn't magic. There wasn't no chimney. There wasn't no, what's the word I'm looking for? Fireplace. There wasn't magic.
He was faithful to the core.
He believed generosity was worship.
That helping people was preaching.
So whether you're religious or just trying to be a decent human,
the challenge is all the same.
So we give quietly.
And love boldly.
And serve like nobody's watching.
That's the real Christmas spirit.
So it's not about how many boxes come from Amazon or whatever shippings now, because most people aren't even wrapping gifts. They're throwing them in a bag as they shop online in their comfy little chair. And that's how they give. They give very quietly these days. So could we say there's an influx of faith around the planet, and that the influx of that faith is knowing? Are we on TikTok?
No, we're not on TikTok. That's a StreamYard issue.
Well. So what do we say now, Joel?
Well,
look at Terry's listening, going, you too. Terry, we miss you. I'm trying to get the inner thespian out of Joel tonight to tell the story of St. Nicholas, and we're almost there. We're almost telling. He's the one who wanted to tell the story.
If this has blessed you, share it.
What?
Isn't that my line?
That's helping. Love boldly. That's the real Christmas spirit. Yes, that's the real Christmas spirit.
Yes.
I
said that was the real Christmas spirit. And then you said, thanks for rocking with us, radio, TV, podcast.
No, that's the end. We're not leaving yet, are we? It's only 7:30.
Am I on the wrong one again? No, I'm not on the wrong one again.
No. Terry says, hey, you guys, play Santa's message to the troops. Joel, play Santa's message to the troops. Maybe we can put 2 and 2 together here.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I forgot to download that.
Oh, great. So we will cha-la-la-la-la-la disco marching on. And then we'll my God, I feel like Caesar's podcast, the show about nothing.
I'm so sorry. I didn't think about the reading. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. While he gets that up, you want to see Joel? I have a commercial that Joel put together for me. This is why Joel doesn't know what he's doing half the time, because he's too busy, like Nicholas, doing so many things for everybody else. He finds it very difficult to put that thespian hat on. So
yes.
I'm going to show you a commercial this man did. Look at this.
Love is clean and love is pure. And love is a thing that no doctor can cure. And love is a thing we need for sure. And if you don't got it, you got the music calling you. Reach out and touch your musical sound. No matter you're young or old, you got to let the good time roll. But it's still you say, right on. Can't wait any longer.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Santa's message.
Well, ho, 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 this is Santa and Mrs. Claus broadcasting all the way up from the North Pole. Just sending out a true, heartfelt thank you to each and every one of you brave young men and women stationed overseas on ships in the middle of the ocean or getting to spend time back here in the United States with your families. We just want you guys to know how much you are truly, truly appreciated.
And a Merry Christmas from me as well. While Santa's checking his list twice, I'm busy making cookies and mugs of hot chocolate filled with warm hugs and best wishes for all of our service members, both serving and who have served. And know that you are very much appreciated and thought of all year long.
Veterans, active duty, and family members, just a great big thank you for each and everything that you guys do. Merry Christmas.
Oh, thanks, Santa.
That was so nice.
Right?
That was beautiful. Let me turn off Jingle Bells.
I don't know. I kind of like the Jingle Bells, you know?
Oh, do you like that, Jam? I could do that.
I like that. Let's you know, maybe we'll start a trend playing music while we talk, you know?
Oh, I love music.
I know, right? And like when you're talking, like smoking, joking, or even playing Uno cards, what do? You listen to music, you know?
I do the dishes and wash and listen to music all the time.
But I'm okay with the music on. But we going back to, are we at the final thoughts? Faith meets modern life.
So, here's how I looked at this. I just want to kind of do a summon. Like I want to sum it all up. What do you think?
Okay.
Should I try it?
You just want to go ahead and read it so that we get through it? Is that what you're saying?
No. I just want to. I want to condense everything together. I want to condense everything together so people have a little bit of an idea of what we try to mutter through.
All right, do it.
From segment 1 to segment 8, St. Nicholas was a kind-hearted bishop with a big old beard and even a bigger personality, very bold. He secretly gave gifts to help the poor. save kids, sailors, and basically anyone having a bad day. Legends say he once slapped a heretic for a bad theology. Saintly patience has limits, you know. So, over time, his quiet charity turned into loud Christmas magic. So, yes, he's the reason for the season of St. Nicholas and why Santa exists today. Is that short and sweet?
I think so.
Okay. So whoever doesn't understand that, that's on them.
No, just download download the transcript from YouTube and give it to ChatGPT. It'll give you cliff notes. I use it all the time.
The Cliff Note version of old Bishop Nicholas.
Hey, sometimes I write something and I've got to put it to ChatGPT because I can't read my own handwriting.
Can you imagine a bishop slapping another bishop for the sake of Christ?
Woo!
I'm not so sure that would go over today.
Probably not.
I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. So anyway, big holiday festivities, Joel. So how are you practicing St. Nicholas this year with the grandbaby?
Well, let's see. We had our Christmas the other day, and when I went to present her the slide, the jungle gym that I got her, well, we found out the hard way. She doesn't like Beaker. She doesn't like the real life Beaker. She was crying so much. Oh my gosh. This was supposed to make people smile, not cry. So far, I've got more criers than it's got smiles, And
then that's St. Nicholas, too. And you have the white beard. You were right there. And you were bald.
I'm telling you.
You just need a hat, man.
A thespian hat, yes. When she said thespian hat, I'm like, oh, I need a Santa Claus hat. I didn't put two and two together, so.
Oh my God. I go, Joel, I said, tonight I wrote us the St. Nicholas story. I said, so put your best thespian hat on. Crickets, nothing. He goes, I have to go. What's something? He go, I don't know. He goes, I have to go find my hat. I go, I don't have any hats. I go, what hat? And he goes, whatever you said. I go, thespian? And he goes, yeah. I go, Joel, that's a state of mind. He goes, I love MJ. I learned something. I learned a new word today.
Lots of new words today.
Yes.
I felt like I was holding my flashlight for my dad again. Thank you. Learned a lot of new words.
Poor Joel. And I didn't mean to, but there were so many unique words from ADs, and then I was like, Joel, I just want to point some words out. And he goes, I'm going to screw it up.
I didn't screw it up.
You didn't. You did a fine job.
I just lost my place every time that I picked up my eyes. It's okay.
Right.
Promise I was paying attention. Promise.
There's no reason for apologies. The story was given. It was given in such a beautiful, polite way that we don't care.
So it's somewhat in news, but I do want to give my condolences to. We had a director, Hollywood director. He passed away today. I'm trying to think of how to pronounce his name.
I don't know who you're talking about. I tried to help you.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't watch the news. I'm going to admit I did not watch the news because I knew we were watching St. Nick's tonight, and I didn't have to know anything. So I'm happy I didn't have to watch the news.
I'll find out real quick. Yeah, I should have had this already done.
Ask Brock.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. The guy that stars in Stand By Me, the guy that was All in the Family, Meathead. I'm trying to think of his name. But he passed away today. him and his wife were both murdered by.
Oh my gosh, I know you're talking about Rob Reiner.
Yes.
Oh my God, somebody did say that to me today.
Yes. So him and his wife was murdered by a knife, and his son is the one that did it. Evidently, they got in a fight yesterday over something, and he's stabbed. Now it's believed that there was him and another woman, but that's not confirmed yet. So the only thing that we do know for sure is that Rob Weiner and his wife was murdered this morning. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to their family, especially during a trauma event like this. You know, no need. You know, no need for any bad juju. You know. And then the other thing that I was gonna let everybody know about is the there's Monday briefing. There was latest a deadly attack in a Jewish community. I'm looking at where that Jewish community is right now. Sydney's famous beach. Here's what we know so far. Basically, there was a huge shooting today in Australia. Huge shooting. And remember, the gun laws are very, very, very strict in Australia. That just goes to show you that there's
no guns allowed, period. So,
right. In depth, it's an attack on Jewish Australians. An attack is on every Australian. But this shooting happened. I mean, there was like 15 people killed. Let's see here.
You know, can I comment on that?
Go ahead.
So there are so many times people are bitching about guns and they want to ban guns in the United States. Here is a country who has banned guns that I know, but probably the last 30 years, guns have been banned in Australia. Mm-hmm. And yet you have 15 murdered by a gun. So you see what I'm saying? People who want to cause havoc are going to find a way to cause havoc.
Well, yeah, most definitely.
I mean, I can understand having tighter restrictions on guns for mental health. I get that. But man, oh man. And where does it stop? Where? Seriously, where does it stop? I don't know.
Well, you know, this is the thing about it. When everybody talks about buying like that LifeLock or whatever, you know, I tell everybody, look, you can go ahead and put your social security number on a freaking billboard. It don't matter. If somebody wants to steal if somebody wants to gack your shit, they're gonna gack your shit. I tell you full-heartedly, because I've been around it. If they want to steal stuff, it doesn't matter if your stuff is locked. It doesn't matter if you have security stickers on the window. If somebody wants to steal it, they're going to steal it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know, and the same thing for guns, for restraining orders, anything. And it's the same thing with the restraining order. What does the restraining order do? It doesn't do nothing. Because it doesn't do nothing. It only protects law-abiding citizens, because a restraining order is just a piece of paper.
Right.
And half the time, if the person wants to act on their restraining order unless something drastically happened, they're gonna have to pay a lawyer to take him to court, because that's another case. So restraining orders are a waste of time.
Yeah, I think we should just go to more positive, notable actions reported today. I'll start.
Okay. All right.
The Trump administration announced the formation of the U.S. Tech Force, a federal program to recruit about 1,000 technology professionals. So you techies out there, listen up. They're hiring from major tech companies like Apple, Google, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and others. Its goal is to modernize government tech systems, accelerate AI development, and update outdated digital infrastructures across federal agencies that Doge has found in the last 6 months, bringing private sector enterprise into government for up to 2-year terms. This kind of innovative can help improve government efficiency and technology and represents government-private cooperation. Other major beautiful news today, in my opinion, fentanyl designated a weapon of mass destruction.
Yep.
An executed policy moved aimed to stepping up the federal response to the opioid crisis, and talks advancing forward and towards stronger Ukrainian security guarantees. Reports suggest progress on potential peace agreement terms, though major details and outcomes are still in negotiation.
Hey, MJ, Cass is on. She says hi.
Hello, Cassie Wass, my favorite hunt.
Hey, in other news today, World Darts Championship is underway. The 2025-26 PDC World Darts Championship has kicked off in London with the defending champion Luke Littler aiming to retain his title in a record prize of €5 million tournament.
Woo! Look at that.
Yeah, there we go.
That's another positive.
Another positive one. Yeah, I give me more positive.
Well, then I'll tell you this. All 3 major pro teams in Minnesota, the Vikings, the Timberwolves, and the Wild, won on all the same day for the first time in 22 years. A fun moment for fans across the state. And the Premier League thriller from Manchester United, 4-4 under Bournemouth. If you're a soccer fan, Manchester United played out an 8-goal draw in the Premier League. A high entertainment match full of scoring drama and late twists.
Well, it's not that very positive for the opposing team.
Well, you have to be happy at something. You have to be happy at something. Boo, Vikings. I listen, I just tell the news here. It's beyond me.
Hey,
need to say something.
Hey, here's some neat stuff. I don't know if you heard about this, but heroism and community support. Earlier yesterday, this weekend, a man named Armed Al-Ahmed courageously tackled and disarmed a gunman during a tragic Bondi Beach shooting, saving many lives. People around the world are praising his bravery, and a fundraising campaign has raised over $970,000 to support his recovery. I wish that I could say that I was analytic so that I have an excuse for tonight, but I don't have that. Uplifting innovation and world progress, clever STEM kits delight classrooms. A simple robot building kit made from chopsticks is bringing joy and creativity to underfunded STEM classes worldwide.
Oh.
And there we go.
Awesome. That is really good news. I love that. That is like, I know that they're recreating back for people too. I love that news.
See, even Josh is like, boo, Vikings.
I know. I saw it. So here we go. We're going to have more good news. Vatican lights, Christmas tree, and nativity in St. Peter's Square. The Vatican inaugurated its Christmas celebrations today by unveiling a life-size nativity scene and lighting a towering 25-meter Christmas tree in St. Peter's Square. If you've never been to St. Peter's Square, it's breathtaking. It's symbolic start to the holiday season that will culminate with Christmas Eve Mass and the Pope's Christmas Day address. Weather and white Christmas forecast talks. Look out. Some of you who love that snows, because some regions, like parts of Pennsylvania and Georgia, are discussing the possibility or the diminishing odds of a white Christmas as winter weather systems continue across the U.S. A fun mix of holiday magic and meteorology ahead on that beautiful December 25th. I like them apples.
I like them apples. I like bananas better, but I like them apples.
You know-
NJ,
Yes.
before you go off, what are you doing for Christmas?
So I am the first time getting my thespian hat on, and my husband and I are playing Mr. and Mrs. Claus this year for the people in New Jersey and the babies. So my husband says his biggest fear is that one of those kids sits on his lap and starts crying. He's not going to like it. So I'm heading to New Jersey for several days, and then I'm going to come back here. It is my birthday, so I am double timing the celebrations. And then I get to have New Year's Eve, and I'm having people up here on top of the mountain with a sleepover, which is why all this dust is in my eyes, because we are trying to get through boxes and building beds and building stuff so that we have plenty of beds for the people who are coming. That is my birthday.
How does it feel? Because if I had my birthday on a holiday, man, I would feel screwed.
You know, so when I was first into the military, I was out in Nellis Air Force Base, and everybody asked me when my birthday was. I told them July 27th.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that the senior master sergeant always announces birthdays and makes a big thing in the radar systems because, you know, there's only so many of us. So I had a whole bunch of people at Nellis join me at the Golden Nugget for my birthday. I think it was my 19th birthday or 20th birthday. I can't remember now, but one of those. I was young. And literally 6 months later, I got so many words of advice. But I told them, do you know, that was the first good feeling I ever had, because I literally was able to celebrate my birthday and not have one present be both. And that's not a slap to my family or friends, but that's kind of how it feels, like a slap.
Yeah, you get screwed when it's your birthday and a holiday both. So
this grew up, and now I love my birthday, because not only is it so joyful with so many beautiful memories of family gatherings, especially my father was Mr. Santa Claus and he loved the holiday. So for me, I remember him, and he's always present on Christmas. So is my grandfather and my aunt. I won't let them out. They died around the same time too, and buried everybody right at this time. So instead of being depressed, sad, and upset, I am elated that they wanted to party every freaking year with us as a memory, and I get to bury them on my birthday. And I looked at that and I honored it. And I said, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to do this, knowing how special this day was for me and you. So I twisted it. I'm a twister. What can I say?
You're a flipper.
I'm a flipper.
Flipper. Well, hey, you guys, I guess we're gonna get ready to sign off, because we have full speed ahead on next. Love Josh's stuff. I gotta see who he's. I gotta see who is. I have to see who he's interviewing tonight, so that I can promote a little bit here.
Let's go, Josh.
Right?
Rocking with us, guys. Radio, TV, and podcast family. Thank you so much for honoring us. Thank you so much for supporting. That's allowing veterans with a voice.
Yes, and full speed ahead. Battle after. Adam Myers is his guest for tonight. So make sure that you keep watching, everybody. That's on next.
Challenges you? Good. Let it challenge you and come up positive. Have a Merry, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah.
And like we always say here, everybody here at MBR, we're here for you, not for us, giving our veterans a voice.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25 and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.